G'day team, Jeremy Britton, 24-hour wealth coach, down on the beach after my sunrise meditation. The sun's getting up a lot earlier these days, and so are the fishermen. It's a great thing. I usually avoid the news. I haven't owned TV for about 8 years. I don't normally read the newspapers, but sometimes it's unavoidable. Sometimes someone actually comes up and tells me something when it needs to be told, and that's okay. There's been a lot in the news in the last couple of weeks about religious wars, and really my view on that is that all religious wars are completely pointless. Can you imagine if you're walking around your home today or walking down to work and you see two kids fighting, hitting each other over what they're going to call their imaginary friend. Oh, mine's called Leo, mine's called Jeff, and just smacking each other, and you should call yours Jeff and you should call yours Leo. No. It doesn't matter what you call your imaginary friend. Well, your invisible friend, let's say, because it's only society that tells kids that their invisible friends are actually imaginary. It's only society that tells the kids that their invisible friends are not real. How the hell do we know? When you were 4 years old, your invisible friend was very, very real, and then someone told you to suppress that, to ignore that, to stop listening to the voices, to stop playing with that person because they weren't real, they were just imaginary. And then the same society also tells you that you've got to start believing in religion, which is an invisible friend. Now, you might be feeling very superior at the moment because you've got the right religion. Well, I'll tell you what, God didn't make religion. Religion was made by man. So if you've got any religion at all, then you're going to find that at the core, it may be futile, it may be fallible, and there's only one thing that you can actually come back to, and that is the existence of a God. Whatever you happen to call him, whether you call him Jeff, whether you call him Allah, whether you call him Jehovah, whether you call him Jesus, Buddha, whatever, all comes back to one thing. Now, if you're feeling very, very superior at this point, you say, well, I don't have religion. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. Well, I'm here to tell you that you do have a God. Your God is just called science. And your God is the babyest God of all, man, because it's very, very young. Science was only coming around in the last few hundred years where they've actually been able to prove things, and science comes out and says, okay, we've split the atom, we've split the quarks and the quasars, and right down at the core of everything is just vibration. There's nothing there, there's nothing there, it's just vibration. And science comes out and pats itself on the back and says, aren't we clever? And then you go back to, say, the Christian scriptures where Jesus spoke. And Jesus spoke, whether he was healing someone, he didn't just lay his hand out and go, he actually said, you are healed. When he kept the waves down, he said, peace, be still. Jesus spoke out words, and that was when the miracles occurred. Go back to the Old Testament, the creation of the world, God spoke. He didn't just put his hand out. God spoke, and the world came into existence. That was through vibration. In the ancient Hindu text, in the Upanishads, they talk about speaking the sound, and that's where we get the word the universe, the one song, the one vibration. People who in the New Age movement talking about the universe gives me this, and I line myself up with the universe. I don't believe in God, but I believe in the universe. You're coming back again to the vibration. When you come back to the very point of it, we all agree on one thing: there is a God, there's something there, and it's sound, it's vibration, it's something that we can't really touch, can't really form. And again, all religious wars are pointless. Now, you look at some of the more modern religions, of course, atheism is very, very recent, science is very recent. Scientology has only come out in the last couple of hundred years, and also Mormonism has only come out in the last couple of hundred years. Most of the other religions are thousands and thousands of years old. Now, Scientology was started by a guy who was a Freemason. Mormonism was also started by a guy who was a Freemason. And if you walk into the Freemasons, you're not allowed to talk about what you name your invisible friends. All of the Freemasons believe in a creator, all of the Freemasons believe in a God, and whether you call it Jehovah, whether you call it Krishna, whether you call it whoever you call it, that doesn't matter. All comes back to the one thing. You haven't heard of any wars started by Freemasons, you haven't heard of any wars started by the Illuminati, you've heard many wars started by the Christians, by the Muslims, by whoever is pushing that we need to call God by a particular name. Well, don't call God by any particular name. Get out there and just call him. And if you can't find him in church, if you can't find him in nature, what Gandhi said, if you can't find God in the next person you meet, then you really need to stop looking. It's time to stop the futility fighting over definitions and really look at what we all have in common and come back to where we come from, where we're going to. It's all the same place. I'll talk to you soon down at the beach or at 24hourwealthcoach.com.